Welcome back to the Trading Show. My name is Glizzy Dave. I'm joined with none other than
Billy Bob Rob.
the Sultan of Swing himself, Rob.
Billy Bob Rob.
I specifically asked Rob to join me today. My friend over here has been crushing it on swing trades. I asked him, I said, hey, can you come on the show? Kind of share with people your strategy, what you look for. He's been hitting these entries pretty damn good. And so we'll take a look at the markets. Let's first start with the crypto bubbles here. On the daily time frame, so you can take a look here. On the day, Zcash up 22%, BitTensor up 20%, Aerodrome up 10%. Base ecosystem is doing fairly well. Morpho up, Virtual's up, and then you have Dash up as well. Looks like that privacy narrative is going to continue. If we look on the hour, we're seeing Pumped Out Fund make a nice rally on the hour. So is Fast Token. No idea what this is. Do you know anything about Fast Token?
No.
And then let's take a look at Bitcoin, you guys. Let's pull back. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of our verticals. Let's drop our horizontals and get rid of that and get rid of that. And we'll take a look at some key levels for BTC and what we think price action is going to do. Yeah, we'll keep that one on. So this is Bitcoin on the daily. Guys, we're literally just in a kangaroo market, right? 106.8, 115.7. That's kind of where we're bouncing. We're close to the bottom end of the range. Rob brought up an interesting analysis on the morning show. Rob, you talked about going into the end of the month, leading into obviously the beginning of the month, prices rallying. Are you looking to swing trade that on Bitcoin, or what's kind of your strategy with that? Do you think there's more money to be made on certain altcoins, if that thesis is true?
Yeah, so I don't trade in the similar way that you do, and I don't do any leverage trading. I tend to just get stopped out a lot. I get a little ambitious, a little too euphoric, and so I mitigate my downside with just spot trading. I feel like it's still, if you have a nice bankroll, you can make a lot of money with swing trading, right? Now, if you're looking to make tens of thousands of dollars or something like that, and you have $1,000, it's quite difficult to do that. I mean, you have to have a longer time horizon. But myself personally, I find it pretty advantageous to just get in and out of trades, buy and sell at the right times. And for myself, I just look for volatility in the large caps. I think that's kind of the simplest way of going about it. So if we take a look at the markets here, you got Bitcoin at 109 right here, playing around 109. So for me, this is kind of telling me like, hey, right now the alts are probably going to sell off because people are worried about it losing the 109 support and how far down it's going to go. So at this point, I start to gear up for, hey, where's the potential drop now? A lot of times you'll come down, you'll test out 108 as an example, 108.9, and then you'll bounce back up to 109 pretty quickly. If this was at 109.2 all of a sudden in a couple minutes, then at that point you would expect the altcoin markets to reverse. Right now they're starting to pull back a little bit. Now, why do you say that? You can look at what's down on the hour, or what's up on the hour, and you kind of see where direction this stuff is going. Now,
Humanity Protocol, what is that?
I don't know. I'll have to take a look at it. But so right now I look big cap, high volatility. So what is moving the most right now? Well, it's the big boys, right? You can go on the 24 hours. Zcash, BitTensor, Dash, Virtual's Protocol, and then Aerodrome. I'm trading all of this. I'm trading all of them. So as Bitcoin pulls back, these all essentially drop. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that these are all good long-term plays. I think it is the opposite. I think when you're kind of swing trading, you should be looking at, unless you're accumulating, that's a different strategy. But if you're looking to trade, like, hey, where are my good entry points? So Zcash today hit 390. or just shy. Oh yeah, it hit 390 today. So it's at 376. So I kind of look at what was the bottom here. Yesterday it hit 305. I don't think it'll get quite that low today. And so, or no, this was on the week. Oh yeah. So yeah, 305 was yesterday. So I don't know if we'll get quite that low, but myself personally, and like I said, I'm not quite as into the charts with candles and trading view as the other.
But that
traders.
Doesn't matter because you're making money.
Yeah. I'm just kind of giving you my rundown. I know you asked me to join the show, so I'm just gonna tell you how I do it. So yeah, I just got CoinMarketCap pulled up, or I'll have Binance or Coinbase or Kraken, and I'll just kind of go through their charts. Same thing. And so as I see perceived value, like here's a good example. Like I think I could probably swing trade an entry point on Zcash at 370. That's a good spot. If I see it go down to 360, I'm definitely buying there. And once again, these are just on like 4-hour swings, maybe 4 to 8 hour swings.
So let me ask you a question. So let's say you've identified that little dip there. What was it, 370?
Yeah. Here's my latest buy. Here's an example. My latest buy was here. And so Farcoin. So this one's not a large market cap, but it's decent for a meme coin, right? It's number 140. Gonna get a decent amount of volatility in it. It does have $100 million in volume, and so it has the volume. It's not gonna completely collapse and go to zero, at least not in a 2-week window. And so for me, this is my last entry. So I'm looking on the week, is at 36. Doesn't look like a good chart, right? But for me, I'm like, hey, like this thing just fell off a cliff. It was at 34 cents. And so for me, it went from 34 cents down to 30 cents. It hit obvious support. I put a buy order. I put a buy in at 30 and 15. So 30 cents, 0.15. And I'm just gonna ride this thing out. And then, so this is on the 24 hours. And so I have a sell at 33 cents. Very basic. So 10% run. I put up 20K in my bankroll. And so with a 3% run, with a 10% run from 30 cents to 33, it's a $2,000 flip. So I feel pretty confident this will get back up to 33. And if it's chopping sideways for a little too long, and I don't think it'll get quite there, I'll just modify my order, drop it down to 32.4 or something like that, 32.5. And then I'll take, 1,700 instead.
How do you manage your risk? Like at what point do you say, okay, this trade went
you got to be a little bit paranoid. It's not a great strategy for HODL, but you gotta be paranoid. And so I'll be honest with you, if I look at Bitcoin's price and it's back over 109. So now you're gonna see the reversal on altcoins. Now's the time to jump in. If you see, right now, boom, you just had a big move here. Alts are gonna pop. So now at this point, I'm kind of a little frantic. I'm like, all right, what do I got? Where am I at? All right, Zcash 380, no. BitTensor 480, no. Aerodrome might be a good one. This would be something I'd probably pull the trigger on. This over Zcash and BitTensor. I'm not liking Dash right now. It's had a lot of resistance at 48. So right now, Aerodrome, this would be the one I'd go with. And so I look at Aerodrome, it hit 112 this morning. You look at it on the 1 week, it is clearly in an uptrend. I don't think it's going to pull back because it's only been 7 days. Because if you look at it in the 1 month, it's still coming out. It's not like in price discovery. It is hung out at $1 quite often, and it's been a recent mover on the list. So a lot of people have an eye out on it. $178 million in volume. And so for me, that would be something I would look at. What I would do is I would just grab Aerodrome. I'd find out where it's, if say I was going to buy it on Coinbase. All right. And so on Coinbase, it's at 106. I'd probably put a buy. You probably won't, it's probably not going to go down because Bitcoin's rallying. So I'd put a buy, maybe very, very, just a very small gap from where it's at now, but I'd always put my limit order below where it's at, let a candle wick down, fill, and then let it take off. Probably going to run into resistance at 110. So
is that enough of a trade for you to, is that enough of
a
risk reward?
If you have, well, here's the thing. I have no problem taking a little bit of an L. And you got to give it a little bit of time to play out. So I'm not going to
What's
get
the
it.
most amount of time you're willing to stay in a trade?
Probably 36 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
So a day and a half?
Yeah.
Okay.
I generally.
And I'm asking these questions because I want the people watching, right? I talk about leverage trading. You have a different strategy, so I think it's great to give people a different perspective.
Here's an example. I would not stay in Aerodrome when I go to bed. Put it that way. I don't give a damn if I'm putting stop loss, putting sell orders or buy orders. I wouldn't do it. So things that are a little bit more risky that have like a lot of downside potential, because here's the thing, even an Aerodrome, I think it has a potential to pop off, but if Bitcoin fell to 106, Aerodrome would probably be under $1. It'd probably be like 92 cents. And that would just put a big gut punch in your bankroll. And so for me, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for it to drop down to 96 cents. Then I'm buying. That's extreme conditions when the market, kind of sells off heavy. But if it's not selling off heavy, then at that point, I'm just like, I'll do little 4-hour swings. I'll buy at 106, I'll sell at 110. And if you trade enough, you're gonna lower your trading fees anyways. And then so if you got low trading fees, you might spend $20 or $50 or $100 on trading fees at most. And then on the back end, if you make $600 going from 106 to 110, like, cool, you made $600 and you spent 30 on fees. And so for me, I'm netting like 550. But if I'm net 550 in 4 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours, and I do that 4 times a day, now I might lose a couple. I might net like $1,200. I might have made 2,500 and then lost, 1,000 and then netted 1,500. That happens all the time, but obviously you're not going to win them all, but
still though, $500,000 is good money.
Yeah.
For swing trading. So
yeah. And you gotta, it's all relative. So if you're trying to make $100 and your bankroll's 1,000, then cool, yeah. If that's what you're trying to do, like, hey man, you know what? I just want to make $100 a day trading. Like,
bro, it's all relative. That's $36K a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if you got $100,000 and you're like, hey, you know what? I got 100,000. It's been sitting in these crap projects and not making any money on them. You know what? Let me try trading something. Grab your bankroll. You don't have to roll the whole bankroll on every trade, but you know what? Hey, I'll put 50 grand in on a coin when it pulls back, and if it keeps dropping, cool, I'll just sell it and I'll lose 3 grand. But if you do it enough and you're kind of familiar with the charts and you're confident, then you know what? You might nail it at $10,000, $20,000 trade, and that's how I do it. And so, yeah.
Sweet. So you're looking at Aerodrome right now, you said, right?
Yeah, I would definitely, because the markets are rallying. Bitcoin's now at 109.7. It's gonna probably find resistance at 110. And so with Bitcoin sitting at 109.7, it was just down to 108. I'm expecting the alts to perform well. If I'm in a fork coin position, so if I get back into that one, I'm assuming it's probably in a decent spot. Let's take a look. So 31 cents. So not bad. 31 and 31. And so it's getting closer to, a 5% move from where my entry point was. And so with, once this thing gets to 33 cents, I'll be in a pretty good spot. So
beautiful. I'm just trying to log into this real quick. Guys, I reached out to BitUnix. I want him to give you guys some dope as far as some trading bonuses. And so we'll be rolling that out. There's a link if you want to trade on BitUnix. They got deep liquidity, which is something I learned the hard way that it's very obvious, but once you're in a trade and you can feel that liquidity kind of hold you back, you're like, shit. I actually made some money on a trade this morning. It was, this is I've used this platform previously, but so this is a Tau trade I put in last night. 436 was my entry, and I cashed out at 483, a little 200% profit. And so kind of to Rob's thing, and I think the biggest thing in trading is you want to go with the trend. It's a lot harder to scalp against the trend, but you can scalp with the trend. It's a lot easier, obviously. Okay, I want to take a look at a BitTensor chart. Let's break down a BitTensor chart, and then we'll take requests as well. So if you have any requests on what you want to see, let us know. You can see BitTensor just right on cue, you guys, hitting a very, very big volume level. As you can see on the VRVP, spike in volume, seeing a little bit of consolidation. This is what you want to see on moves up, my friends, is a large rise in volume, which is what we saw with BitTensor's move. Another thing you definitely want to see, we saw it across a bunch of different chains or a bunch of different charts, is a V-shaped recovery. I mean, this thing ran it all the way back to its previous large volume node where price was kind of chopping here before it had a spill off. And then it was just a massive run up. And I bet you if I pull up the Lux Algo, we'll see a gap that was probably created. Yep, there it is. There's our gap. And so be wary of the gap. Gaps are meant to be filled, okay? And this gap is from low end is our largest volume node on this chart, 447 to 464. So if we do come down here, expect, and 447, honestly, guys, would be my, I don't want to call it a perfect entry, but would be an excellent entry. Is 448, you've officially filled the entirety of the gap. You're close to a very large volume node. And if I do one final thing and I draw our fibs, where did you go, Fibonacci? Let me clean up the chart here just a little bit. We'll get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. If we draw our fib, you can see almost perfectly our 50% Fibonacci level sits at 443. Okay, so we're about $5 off. Okay, bookmark it. Bookmark this part of the video. If Tau gets under or gets to 445, you should buy, barring any crazy things happening in the markets. The other thing I wanted to show as well, you guys, I want to give a shout out to Magic. He was on our show yesterday and he highlighted this OI oscillator. You can see here, guys, a massive unusual spike in open interest, in positive open interest. You can see highlighted in the blue or / purple candles here. New money is coming in. That's one of the many ways you can figure out and tell. You can ask the question yourself: is this a real move? Is this real money? Is this new money entering the markets, or is it just manipulation? Yada yada. So BitTensor, expect a little bit of consolidation. We're looking at the 1 hour time frame here. We can pull up market cipher. We can take a look at money flow. We did just get a red dot on the hour, so beware of that. VWAP just crossed over into our negative. Money flow is still in the green at 11. Momentum indicators look great. Our VWAP, excuse me, not our VWAP. Our stochastics and our RSI are kind of approaching the overbought levels. So just keep that in mind. If we zoom out to the 4 hour, 4 hour just crushed. We also, one thing to note here, guys, a little bit of a head and shoulders here, okay? On the 4 hour time frame. Expect another move to the downside. Here's what it was. This is why I entered. I entered on this anchor wave, or excuse me, this trigger wave here. Right, we had our anchor wave, right, anchor down here at around minus 56. This was back on Wednesday. We got that trigger wave with a green dot and we entered. And we'll see. We're probably going to put in a lower high here on the momentum wave, which does tell us that at least currently on the time frame we're at, the large move up is probably going to wither away a little bit. Now, this could completely reverse and keep going and actually take out this high we had on Tuesday. But from what we're seeing, and this candle still has around an hour left to close. If we put in a lower high here, this is a clear, I would say, divergence in terms of momentum and price. And so if you're looking to scalp this thing down, I would scalp a short down to 445. But I think with the trend being clearly up, I think it's a lot safer to wait for the drop. Don't try to scalp the drop and then enter in on a long at 445. In fact, we're gonna go ahead and put in a limit order here on Tau at 446. I do like to go a little higher. We'll make sure we're on isolated. 20x is a little too much leverage. We're gonna go 14x leverage here on Tau. We're gonna go limit 446. Quantity, we're gonna do cost value. And we're gonna do nope, we're gonna do, no wait, am I on my personal? No, this is okay. We'll do 10% of our current portfolio, and we're gonna open a long. Shows our liquidation price would be 417.05, but we'll put a stop loss in before it gets there. Confirm. And our limit long order on Tau is in at 446. Feel free to follow if you want. Just know that anything can happen. Again, it's not just as simple as the order fills and that's it. If the order fills, you come back to the chart, you make sure everything looks good. You see a nice bounce, a recovery bounce. If you don't be hesitant to cut your losses, even if it's, 15, 20 bucks. Cut the loss, wait to find your next entry on Tau. What else should we look at, Rob? Let's take a look at Cardano, man. Cardano, and then we'll look at virtuals. And Rob, feel free to chime in here as I'm going through the charts. Cardano at 60 cents, man. I'm curious to see how far away we are from, and this was a beautiful setup for a break to the upside, which obviously did not happen. So we can get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. We'll keep our short structure here. See if we can find any. I was looking at some potential bullish divergence here. Let's bring this sucker up. So as you can see here on ADA's chart, a little bit of bullish divergence, right? Price is making lower lows. RSI is making higher lows, ever so tinily, so minusculely, if that's even a word to use. But Cardano's been one of the most underperformers of this cycle. Look at how far it's trading below its 200-day moving average, guys. Right? If you're a chart absolutist, a pretty simple way to know if a trend is up or down is where is it at relative to its 200-day moving average. And Cardano is currently, even if we take our lower band, we're 15% away from our first area of invalidating or flipping trend, 22% away from completely flipping the 200-day moving average and back into a positive position. Rob, what's your feeling on ADA, dude? What's your feeling on the price action? Do you look at this chart and say, bullish divergence, now's the time to get in?
For me, I just, in my trading strategy, I'm not messing with it. But then again, that's just because of the lack of volatility. It doesn't move as much as I personally want it to for my trades.
So it's not volatile enough for you to.
Yeah, it like look on the 1 month here. I mean, other than the drop, I mean, it was 62 cents. It got up to 70 on the initial bounce, but it's just really just
what are you showing? Were you showing CoinMarketCap?
Oh yeah. You want to pull up? There we go. So you can see here. After that initial drop and bounce, it's just been 62 cents. It got up to 68 very briefly. And so it's just bouncing around 62 to 65 cents. It's sold off here, which is a little concerning because we haven't seen a bounce back at all. I think what you're going to need to see is Bitcoin get up above, say like 113 and hang out there, consolidate above 113, 115.
I don't know that's enough
for this thing to break out of 60 cents, man.
You think that's enough? I was thinking like 150, 160.
Like my thing is like, when is it going to get to 70 cents again? And myself personally, I think it is not likely to cross 70 cents until Bitcoin is established that it's back in an uptrend again. And I just look on the 1 month here, and it's just, win breakout,
That's
perhaps,
Bitcoin,
yeah, this Bitcoin win breakout. And you think about it, it's, maybe November, the start of the month, I'm expecting a big rally. And so the beauty about Cardano is that it's not going to just pop off and run, right? So that's one of those plays where you can assert yourself a position on it after Bitcoin runs, right? Here's the thing, like if Bitcoin popped to 113, I already know for sure that Zcash, BitTensor are both gonna rally, right? These are gonna be even higher than they are now. So let's just say we woke up tomorrow, Bitcoin's at 114. I know that Zcash, BitTensor probably be the strongest performers. They'll be in the top 10, in my opinion. I think Zcash will be over $400. I think that BitTensor will be over $500. And I think the trend will continue. Those are going to be the immediate moves. And then what's going to take a little bit more of a laggard effect for the pumps will be larger projects like Solana, like Cardano. Solana is one I'm eyeballing. This is something that has been routinely at $200, and it's been finding resistance at $200. So once we get up and above, say 113, 114 on Bitcoin, I think that you see Solana break out above 200. Solana's had big moves. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that just because it's a large cap. I mean, we've seen it go from $100 to 180 over the course of a month. We saw it go from 130 to over 200, and once again 3 weeks. And then we saw it go from 160 to 240 in 1 month as well. So it doesn't move quite as fast as some of the other ones, but it's also a giant crypto. And then if you look at it, it's all time. It's had some massive parabolic runs, particularly the one back in 2023, where it went from $20 to $180, and that was over the course of about 4 or 5 months. You also went from 140 to 250 back in November. And so you can see these big moves, but Bitcoin's really got to get into a new kind of price dynamic, right? Bitcoin's got to get into, that $135,000 range. And so if you get Bitcoin at $135,000, I think the best positions is something like Solana and also Cardano. I mean, until I see that big price discovery move, I'm kind of staying away from Cardano. If I had to pick one, I would go with Solana. I think that it's got a little bit more upside in the short term. And that's just where DeFi and the meme coins are, and, traditional finance is getting behind Solana as well. So I think Solana is primed for a big run. I've been saying it. I do think that Solana will be over $500 by the end of the year. And so 180 is a great spot for me.
And we got a super chat from Ricky. He's asking about COAI. I took a big L on this one. Man, I mean, this is on the 1 hour. This is Chain Opera. We saw this. I mean, this thing is volatile, right? We saw a 80% drawdown and then 400% rally. So as we're approaching these levels, that $4.50 to $5 level, I was expecting a bounce. We didn't get a bounce there. Then I said, okay, fine. Let's get a bounce here at 317 or 371. Broke below, retested, failed, then came back down. And it's just, I mean, guys, I would stay away from this. This is pretty ugly. And so I took an L on that trade. That's okay. Right? I managed my risk fairly well, I believe. But I have no confidence in this thing right now, unless this thing reverses. But I mean, how much uglier can something get? You literally just completely nosedive through every single volume level, every single key support level, and you had $1.38 when just 7 days ago you're at $20. There's definitely some manipulation going on. I don't know. I've seen people call it a scam. Look at all that whale manipulation, guys. You're looking at the yellow X's. Look at all this whale manipulation. You stay away from the chart. And so...
Which one is this one?
Chain Opera, yeah. So Ricky, I took a big L on my spot. Go figure. It was a spot hold, right? A spot flip, and I've chalked it up as an L and I've moved on. For me to even think about trading this thing again, it's got to get over 371. 373 to be. So until then, I'm staying away. I don't give a shit if it's gonna run from $1.30 to $20. I don't care. At this point, the way it's looking, it's more likely to run from $1.40 down to 20 cents than from $1.40 back up to $10. And so, yeah, this is one of the uglier charts in crypto. This thing was in the top 100. This thing had a massive rally, and then it just died. The daily looks even worse. I mean, what is this? Like, what is this? This is trash. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts on that. I was going to ask Rob, October is officially going to end in the red. Unless you foresee a massive rally back up to 113,000, 114,000, and it closes there. But then the question comes in is, what can we expect from the month of November? If you look at the last time we had a red October, we had a even bigger red November, Rob. That was in 2018. You don't like to look in 2014, but that was the second to last time we had a negative October, and November was green. I don't know, man. I kind of have a feeling November might be red too. We might be following the 2018 cycle.
I don't think so.
No?
2018 was a bear market.
It was.
It doesn't. I don't subscribe to it. I mean, anything can happen. So we could in hindsight be like, wow, what a disappointing end of the year. Maybe you can attribute that to the government being closed. But here's an interesting point: is that Bitcoin's back at 109.1. So I think that we're going to see a bounce here. And so my thing is like, once again, like, what are some good entry positions here? Once again, I'll kind of pull up the 24 hours, see what's on discount here. This could potentially be the last pullback on Bitcoin before it breaks up above 110,000. And if we do see 111, you're going to see a lot of profit here. If you go down, some other, maybe I'll just pull up the market cap right now, just go down the list here. What looks good right now? Hedera is something I've been trading as well. This one's seen a good amount of volatility. Look here on the 24 hours. We've seen some pretty good swings, from the bottom of 19 cents almost to 20 cents. And so if you're going to go with a larger cap, this one is something you could trade.
Crap.
This is on the 1 week. This is last 7 days. Now, you went from 16 cents. We went up and put in a 21.5 cent high, and essentially came back down to 19. And so for a larger cap, it's doing pretty well. I would buy this at 18 cents. It just doesn't get down there. And so if you see Bitcoin, say Bitcoin were to turn down to say 18, like 3 or so, or 108. 300 or something, you might be able to catch Hedera at 18 cents. I think if you grab it at 18 cents, just hold on to it for 2 or 3 days. I think that you'll turn around and be able to sell it at 22. Throw leverage on there, and you'll have a pretty good day, or a big bankroll on a swing trade.
So this is the HBAR chart. Take a look at this. This thing is in a W pattern right now, and it looks like it's getting ready to complete. The last part of this would be the bull flag, and I think Rob hit the nail on the head. 18. I have it at 18.5 cents. You can easily move this thing down to the last swing high here at 18.2 cents. And if we draw our fib levels up here, right? Well, it's currently right now at its 50% fib level. You guys know I like to trade the 50. But again, right around this 18 cent area lives our gold pocket. And so I would expect a bounce from Hedera here, but I would be weary of running this up to this trend line here, because this thing is in a falling channel. Running it up to the trend line and then getting stopped out or meeting resistance, or it could very well blow right through this thing and then come up and meet resistance at 25 cents, which is where we saw the last time Hedera attempted to break out, which was up here. Twice, actually, it attempted to break out. It failed into an M pattern and then essentially came all the way back down to test the bottom end of this range. So I would be very careful. If you are going to trade the breakout, my advice to you would be the following. Wait for a confirmation and a retest. Enter in on your retest. Depending on where it is, you're looking at between 20.5 cents down to, let's say, 19.8 cents. That would be your what's the word I'm looking for? That would be your most like high conviction. Yes, it's a confirmed breakout. It's going to continue upside. Because if you try to front run this thing, and trust me, guys, I've been there. I've tried to do it myself and I've lost money. I've also gotten lucky and made money as well. Is you're going to run into, let me undo that. You're going to run into potential failure to break above. And it's going to not have continuation to the upside. It's going to just drop below and come retest the bottom end of this range.
I also think that with Bitcoin, if you look at where we began the month at, it was a 109, or excuse me, 114. And so if Bitcoin typically tends to close the gap a little bit, we don't typically end the month dramatically far away from where we began. And so I think that 112, 113 might be something we see by midnight, and then still close in at a red day or red month. Yeah. But I think that I find it more likely for us to close around 112, 113 than to sell down to that 107, 106. And that's just kind of my vibe for the month.
I mean, so after that, you think it's going to continue to go up, or you think we'll see?
I think so. I still think we're going to have a very, very strong November, in my opinion. But I don't know. I kind of just been keeping an eye on what Bitcoin's doing here on the 109.
I wanted to look at Virtual's protocol here. You know, the title of today's show is Trading AI. And Virtual saw a massive expansion on increased volume. I would love to get a retest here. I would love to get a retest and a V-shaped recovery down here at $1.02, $1. We'll call it $1, okay? If we do, and let's draw our Fibonacci. Look at that bounce on the 50, guys. I love trading the 50. You get so many bounces here, upside and downside. Bounce at the 50 at $1.20. It's already up to $1.36. So Rob, I would put that level on your radar, my friend. $1.21.
Which one is this?
Virtuals.
Oh.
And then Gold Pocket lives between $1.06 and $1.09. $6.5, $9.5. If we get down here, we're more than likely going to get a tiny wick down to our trend line, and I will gig along this thing here. Obviously, wait to see what kind of volume we see. I'll work my way down to maybe the 1 hour. What is a 1 hour doing? Even maybe like the 10 or the 15 minute, guys, to see, are we seeing positive reaction to a very, very important price level? If we are, I'm gig along. If we're not, then I'm wait and see. But Virtuals is one of my highest conviction, strongest plays. Even through the big dip from $5 down to what, 60 cents, Rob?
Yeah.
50 cents.
Another one to keep an eye on that I've been trading is Pump.Fun. This is I no interest long term on this, but if you're trying to get in and out on some Pump.Fun on the kind of like the swing trades, you can see that it was at flat 4 cents at the beginning of the week here, and then we saw it over 5 cents multiple times, and that's a 20% run on Pump.Fun multiple times throughout the week. And here we are again at 4 cents, or 0.4 cents. And you know, you look back on the 1 month here, this is something that we had over that half a cent mark before the crash. It performed pretty well on this week, and so I think it might be something that we revisit. And so This is something I'm trading at, something I keep an eye on.
What was the level you're looking at?
I think like right where we're at, honestly. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get much lower. You might get 4.1, 0.41 cents. But I mean, I think grabbing this here at this current price and riding it up to the half cent, that's a 20% move, man.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, 20% from current price. And so if you just bought right now, even on a limit, no X, you bought right now, you threw say 10 grand at it, you bought it right now at this price and then put a limit sell after it triggered the buy, you put a limit sell at an even half a cent, you'll make 2 grand on that. So but it's an airdrop. It's still pretty new. Not a big fan of it. But this is something that I think you can get some money off of.
Just looking at the 1 hour, markets are kind of turning red. Tau down 2.2, Trump down 1.4, hype down 1.7. I expect volatility over the weekend, guys. So if you have open positions, make sure you evaluate your stop losses. Make sure you're taking profits. This has been an interesting cycle. What I just do is whatever TP level I set, I reduce it by 30%. Because everything tells you it's going to get there, and it doesn't get there. It might eventually get there, but by the time it gets there, your stop loss is hit, and then you're out of the trade anyways. So if your target of, let's say, a BitTensor trade is $500, right? Or your TP is 500, reduce it down. Maybe 30% is too large, but you get the point. That'll do it for the show today. If you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Have a notification bell pinged on. That's all I got. Rob, anything else?
No, that's it, man. Trade safe, man.
Trade safe. Enjoy your Halloween. Go eat a glizzy. Mustard relish. Nothing else. No ketchup. And that's all we got. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time.
Happy Halloween.
Was that God? God, I'm sorry. Please believe me.